Hi, I'm Hazel, and this is a look at the cooking secondary profession in Legion. The first change I want to show you actually applies to all the professions, and it's this handy tab in the crafting window here. In Legion, you can look through all the recipes you don't know, including their materials and where you need to go to get the recipe. This completely replaces the ACUS recipe list add-on and should make it much easier to fill up your little cookbook. You'll notice that next to each Legion recipe, you've got a little star rating out of 3. This is your recipe rank, and learning higher ranks of a recipe let you craft it more efficiently. Recipe ranks can be acquired out in the world, and some of them are rumored to be pretty challenging to get your hands on. The cooking trainer and a new cooking vendor will be found in your faction's inn's kitchen in Dalaran. The trainer doesn't do anything super special, but this vendor is where you're going to get your muskin butter and river onions and all the other vendor mats you'll need for your recipes. This adds a minor gold sync component to cooking and reminds me a little bit of the Black Desert Online model. Nomi the Panda here won't appear until you've learned your first Legion cooking recipe, so don't freak out if you can't find him at first. You might remember him as the little cooking assistant in Pandaria. He's all grown up and chasing his dreams and stuff, and he'll give you a quest line that leads you to some of the best recipes. Thanks to that handy Unlearned tab, it's easy to figure out where to go for your recipes. Most starter recipes are rewarded from quests in the Broken Isles, with more dropping off of rare mobs, some zone drops, and the odd vendor. The best buff food that you'll need for raiding is learned from Nomi's Test Kitchen Discovery, which looks like it might be a daily cooking quest. There's 5 categories of food to cook in Legion, which is a decent step up from before. Snacks require minimal mats to craft, and they have some unique effects. Crispy bacon extends the well-fed buff from any Legion food by 1 hour up to a maximum of 6 hours. This would come in handy if your raid is really talented and you never die, or if you like to keep a running food buff up while doing world quests. Bear Tartare gives you a short sprint after you kill an enemy, which sounds especially good for leveling. It requires level 101, so unfortunately you can't send it to your lobby alts. Mackerel strips are just a health and mana recovery food, but they're cheap to make, and unless your class has a lot of self-healing, you might need it while adventuring out in the world. Fighter Chow increases your out-of-combat health regen by 1000%, which seems great for not only leveling, but also for those cool kids who like to hang around and duel for hours. Light meals are the most basic form of buff food and will give you 450 to a secondary stat. Large meals require more mats and give you 600 to the stat, while delicacies give you 750. Each category also has a Pepper Breath Fireballs food, which gives you a damage proc instead of a stat buff. Cooking delicacies requires a huge amount of fish and a few herbs, so fishing should be a lucrative profession right through Legion. Other ingredients to hang on to as you level include wildfowl eggs, gamey ribs, lean shanks, and fatty bear steaks. All of these recipes require cooking level 1, so don't freak out if you somehow didn't do it in Draenor. If you've picked up a chef hat on any character in your WoW past, you'll be pleased to find it in the toy journal with only a cooking skill requirement. Last, hopefully they sort this out, but as of this point in the beta, the fire in the kitchen actually doesn't work for cooking, despite the fact that there is literally a pan in there. You can always put a campfire on top of the fire if you want to RP cook in here though. And that's cooking in Legion. I personally think that 3 tiers of buff food is a little overkill, but the snacks idea is very cool, and fish in particular should stay valuable throughout the expansion. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye on my channel for a look at fishing in Legion coming soon, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!